Chinese people say, if you live on a mountain, you live off the mountain. And if you live by the sea, you live off the sea. This is a strategy for survival. Chinese people make the best use of every inch of soil, and their great knowledge of food is evident everywhere. No matter where Chinese people live, from fertile valleys to desolate frozen highlands to modern cities, as long as there's a patch of green, they live in harmony with nature. Pan Yinxiao and Huang Lanrong are members of the Zhuang ethnic group who live in the small mountain village of Xiayao in Guizhou province. The tree branches they have collected smell very fresh. Their rather ordinary-looking leaves are needed for a coming festival. For the Miao, Dong and Zhuang people in Zhongjiang County, Guizhou, sticky rice has long been a staple in their diet. Nearly 100 primitive species of sticky rice grow on the terraced fields around these scattered mountain villages. Both Pan Yinxiao and Huang Lanrong can speak Mandarin and are middle school graduates, but they've never been outside of their home county. Like the other villagers, they know how to make good use of the maple leaves from the nearby mountains. October is the harvest season for sticky rice, and the Zhuang people of Xiayao village have a special harvest festival. There are two kinds of rice, sticky and non-sticky. Sticky rice becomes glutinous and elastic after cooking because it contains amylopectin. Pan and Huang are boiling the leaves they collected. The leaves soon release a yellow-green liquid, which is used to add colour to the sticky rice. After sticky rice is soaked and boiled, it becomes dark in colour. These women are colouring the rice yellow using an extract from another local plant. Using plant extracts to colour food is an ancient practice. People living in remote locations especially enjoy colouring their food in ways that are natural. Sticky rice contains a lot of oil, so it staves off hunger longer. It is thus the logical choice for a staple food. Wang Xiaozheng, who is 58 this year, grew up eating sticky rice in a place called Jiache, a Miao village not far from Xiayao. In the 1960s, the local government promulgated a high-yield non-glutinous rice species that younger people began consuming. But Wang Xiaozhang believes that only sticky rice can build strong muscles. It's impractical to use machinery on terraced fields, so locals still use crude knives to harvest their crops. Growing rice is more painstaking in the steep and barren mountains than in other locations, but Wang Xiaozhang's ancestors found a way to grow rice on this formidable terrain by hand. During the Qin and Han dynasties, the cultivation area of sticky rice was expanded, and the rice paddies grew more than just rice. Over 1,000 years ago, Wang Xiaozhang's ancestors made a significant discovery. They discovered that paddy fields are also ideal for raising fish and ducks. And moreover, the fish and ducks keep insects under control, and their excrement fertilizes the soil. Even today, chemical fertilizer and pesticide use is rare here. Though high in quality, sticky rice only produces 50% of the yield of non-glutinous rice per unit of area. Only 5% of the area devoted to rice in China is used for growing glutinous rice. But people in the mountains still prefer it. How can they live without this treasure? With its rich past, sticky rice will continue to hold a valued position on Chinese dinner tables. Many young villagers, however, have left for the city, and less area is being set aside to grow sticky rice. People are abandoning traditional agricultural methods. The staple food for the new rice festival is ready. Ban and Huang are working on a main dish of pickled fish. Tongjiang is humid year-round, so the fish must be preserved quickly after they're caught. The locals believe that spicy foods have health benefits according to traditional Chinese medicine. Fish and sour soup with litsi and ginger is popular with the Zhuang people. The county banquet is beginning. The local brand of liquor brewed from sticky rice is a popular alcoholic beverage. Ban Yinxiao has been aging this crock in her cellar for 7 years. The street banquet brings the people together in a spirit of sharing. and it is catching the world's attention as a part of China's intangible cultural heritage. People living in the barren mountains have used their skills to create a gourmet cuisine. The skills required to make a living from the ocean, however, are very different. Today is young Wang Defeng's first day as a professional diver. Wang Shuhui is going to guide him. The heavy diving gear is designed to protect the diver from the frigid water and the pressure. Wang Shuhui, though still quite young, already has 15 years of diving experience. They are searching for a precious ocean commodity. This sea cucumber is fast asleep, but its peaceful summer nap will soon end. Zhangze, a small island in the northern Yellow Sea, is famous for a variety of seafood. Among them are many delicacies favored by the Chinese people, such as sea cucumbers, abalone, and sea urchins, which account for most of the catch. The clean water and ocean rapids here provide a perfect environment for them. The underwater scenery is splendid, but Wang Defeng is too nervous about being 30 meters below the surface to enjoy it.
在水底下，假如没有太阳的时候，在底下呵呼呼，他也害怕，有一种恐惧感。拉着他的手的时候，你自己都感觉是，他在水底下那个手啊非常僵硬，直嘚瑟。
Sea cucumbers have been around for 600 million years. The Spanish and the Chinese have been eating sea cucumbers for at least 2,000 years. The sea cucumbers that the two divers are collecting today were released into this water as baby sea cucumbers 3 years ago. Baby abalones, scallops and sea urchins are also released for later harvest. This 2,000-kilometer stretch of water is the largest sea farm in China and Asia. People here have discovered a way to balance human society and nature by raising fish in an eco-friendly way. Seafood is the main protein source for half of the Chinese population. One popular Shandong seafood dish is braised sea cucumber with scallions. Shandong is famous for its quality scallions, which are essential for this dish. Cooking makes the protein-rich sea cucumber tender and soft and releases a tantalizing aroma from the scallions. Another well-known and expensive seafood item is abalone, which entered the Chinese diet much later than sea cucumbers. This industry is motivated by huge profits. People can be seen harvesting seafood at dawn every day. Different style boats are used in different locations. Here, the ocean currents are swift.
流速大时候下到底了，那真是飞沙走石，真的会流走了，有那个流速都顶不动。
Working in a hostile environment can be profitable, but it's far from easy. Abalones are often found on algae-covered rocks in the rapid currents. The abalone lives in the crevices of the rocks, making it difficult to reach. Their large feet enable them to hold onto the rocks with a force of up to 200 kilograms. This makes it possible for them to resist the violent waves and currents. Fishing for them is difficult.
看见那个鲍鱼，觉得够规格了，就紧贴礁石那边，一下把它扣下了，几乎就不能扣第二下了。
As the two divers continue to work underwater, diners are already eating their earlier catch. Because it's only the start of the season for one particular species, it's not among their catch. Wang Hoshi is 45, and he's on the last dive of his career. Wang Hoshi dives wearing a lead helmet and weighted shoes. The total added weight of over 50 kilos enables him to go 40 meters below the surface. Sea urchins have only been part of the Chinese diet for 30 years. They were introduced through Japanese cuisine, which has become popular in China. The most popular way to eat sea urchins is raw. The yellow part is best, but it only appears between June and August. This dive is Wang Hoshi's last. This is because the retirement age for deep-sea divers in China is 45. After he retires, Wang Defeng will be on his own. During their 6-hour day, Wang Defeng and Wang Shuhui make many dives.
不停地上下，最高的记录是一天的采捕海底那个扇贝啊，5、6千斤。我俩连那个大饭店去看他们吃那个鲍鱼、扇贝什么的，海参啊，都感觉有一种自豪感。这都是我们潜水员在海底上一个个捡的。
The divers are exhausted. This is Wang Defeng's first day as a diver. He throws the smaller scallops back into the sea to continue growing. Harvesting seafood is difficult. The people on Jiangze Island go out to sea. The people living by Lake Tai wait for the river crabs to come to them. In October, when the northwest wind rises and the moon is bright, small river crabs come up from the river on their way to breed in the sea. Guided by instinct, they never get lost. These crabs come from a fish farm. This crab arrived at the farm 7 months ago when it was the size of a button, but now it's fully grown. A few days ago, this crab molted for the 19th time. It is its last and most important molting, since it is now truly an adult crab. Crabs have been eaten in China for 4,000 years. Chinese people prefer to simply steam crabs to prepare them for the table. Steaming is the best way to preserve the taste of the crab. The best part is inside the shell, but it takes skills and patience to enjoy it, and few people today are so skillful. Crabs have long graced Chinese dinner tables, but few people today will ever have the chance to enjoy wild crabs. The scientific name for these river crabs is Eriochia sinensis. During their breeding season, long lines of crabs used to emerge from rivers or inland lakes on their way to the sea. But today, ecological degradation has drastically reduced their numbers. These small crabs have been artificially bred in a breeding pond with water from Lake Tai. These crabs feed on water weeds, small shrimp and fish. They will grow slower and stronger than those given artificial feed. Although they all come from the same pond, the price of the crabs varies with weight. A 100-gram crab may sell for 25 yuan, but a 350-gram crab costs 20 times as much. Each of these weighs over 350 grams. The crab season is only 2 months long. River crabs are a luxury that only a small number of people can afford. But due to the great demand for crabs, a so-called crab dish has been created that actually contains no crabs at all. The chef is beginning to work his magic. A simple combination of ordinary ingredients surprisingly produces a dish that tastes very much like crab. The use of common ingredients to achieve this unexpected result is a fascinating Chinese skill. The name of this dish is boldly called tastier than real crabs. Breeding crabs is a highly profitable business. A small area in a river or lake may be home to 100 wild crabs, but the same area of fish farm can support at least 600. On the other hand, the crowded conditions mean there is less food and oxygen for each crab. The crabs in this fish farm need the water weeds from Lake Tai to keep the water clean, and the weeds provide an ideal food for the crabs. Famous Jingjiang-style steamed dumplings filled with minced crab meat and crab yellow have been popular for more than 100 years. There can be as many as 32 pleats on the dumpling holding the crab meat. the steam thoroughly cooks the filling inside the thin skin of the dumpling. Though the dumpling skin is paper thin, it is nevertheless very strong. The secret of its strength is known only to the best cooks. Eating these dumplings can be just as much of a challenge as preparing them. Most crabs are consumed by city people, and the people of Shanghai have the biggest appetite for crabs. Shanghai is located where the Yangtze River flows into the ocean, and this is the place where the wild crabs used to breed and begin their lives. Though Shanghai people are generally very thrifty, they won't hesitate when it comes to crabs. Shanghai people know exactly the best time of the year to eat the crabs, which is different for male and female crabs. Chongming Island, 50 kilometers north of Shanghai, is the natural home of crabs. It is the largest alluvial island in the world and part of the Yangtze River Delta. It has been a significant source of food in China for 1,000 years, and today it enjoys the fastest economic growth in the whole of China. But in Xinhua, Jiangsu, at the northern tip of the delta, urbanization is lagging. It is noon in the summer, and Xia Juntai and Wang Yuanfeng row their boat onto a lake. They are coming to water a huge crop they're growing in this unique field. Getting the best agricultural yields in this densely populated plain in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze is a challenge. This type of field is a fine example of the creativity of Xinhua people. A 1,000 years ago, this was a swampy, desolate shore prone to flooding. To prevent the floods, people piled up mud. This swamp was formed when the water receded, creating this special agricultural field. Taro is the main crop here, and conditions in this type of field are ideal for growing it. However, watering this giant plant is difficult. The stems and leaves grow as high as a man. The long-handled ladle he uses to water the taro is a local creation. Mr. Xia comes here 4 times a day and spends an hour each time to ensure that the taro get enough water.
特别是太阳最晒人的时候，等于需要做得多，他那个车飞往你。
Mr. Xia is 49 this year. Both of his sons work in the city, so his wife is his only helper. During the growing season, they are very busy. So busy, they eat their lunch in the field. Fortunately, the lake has many wild fish in it, and this makes it convenient for a picnic. The taro also needs to be fertilized. Mud mixed with weeds makes a great organic fertilizer. The taro is their baby, and they provide it with loving parental care. The harvest time for the taro is autumn. The edible part of the taro is the corm, which is nutritious and stores well. Taro has been a popular crop in the southern Yangtze River Basin for about 2,000 years. This variety of taro, which has a smooth surface, is Xia Juntai's favorite. Dragon fragrance taro is like an elegant lady from a respectable family. It's a favorite of the people of Xinhua. Long ago, when the food supply was unstable, taro made for a perfect substitute for rice. When the taro is ready for harvest, wild river crabs also reach maturity. Today's Huaiyang-style cuisine still features tofu with crab yellow, a time-honored local dish. The crab yellow releases a special fragrance when placed in the boiling broth. Tofu and taro pick up the taste of the crab. Mr. Xia's favorite, however, is braised pork in brown sauce with taro. The cooked pork has a tempting aroma, and the taro absorbs a great deal of the grease from the pork. Taro is always on the menu in Xinhua during the holidays. In the economically developed areas of China, Xia Juntai is probably the last farmer working on family fields, passed down for generations. This doesn't bother him. Nothing can stop him from enjoying his special field and his home. Xinhua people are amply rewarded for wisely making best use of local conditions. The annual harvest on this high plateau is an event well worth celebrating. The morning air on this plateau is chilly even in August. On this important day, Sang Ye is up early while her family is still fast asleep. She is the most capable person in the family. In 2 days, this barley will become liquor. The day begins with hope. The Qinghai Tibet Plateau, known as the Roof of the World, is where the Yarlung Sangpo River leaves the mountains to rush into Shigaze, located in a valley in southern Tibet. Thanks to the river, it is the most developed agricultural area in Tibet. Local barley has long been a staple food of Tibetans, allowing people to survive this hostile environment. Now that the barley in the pot has absorbed enough water, it is ready for the next very important step. If the barley gets too hot, the liquor will be bitter, but Sang Ye carefully controls the temperature. The barley will soon be ready for harvest. It is its strong resistance to cold that enables it to grow on this desolate plateau. low air pressure at this altitude makes cooking things difficult because of the low boiling temperature. The barley has to be fried before further processing. Zanbar is often eaten with roasted barley flour, buttered tea and big chunks of butter or milk residue. To survive on the plateau, people need foods that are calorie-rich. Like people who live near the North and South Pole, they require larger amounts of food than most people. An individual ear of barley here could mean the difference between life and death. The festival held before the barley harvest is the biggest holiday of the year. Walking around in a field is an essential activity for the most important member of each family. Sang Ye is the one chosen from her family. This ceremony has 1,000 years of history in Shigaze. Through it, people express their thanks and great respect for Mother Nature. Fingerprints made with barley flour have spiritual significance. The people believe that their prayers will be heard in heaven. The celebration continues for a week, during which every family erects a colourful tent. In Sang Ye's home, the liquor is now ready. Many people praise Sang Ye's barley liquor. Tibetan food, like other things on the plateau, is simple and natural. But Tibetan cuisine can even be found in big cities thousands of kilometers away. All the ingredients of Tibetan food are natural, but there are many possible combinations. For people outside of Tibet, everything on the plateau seems mysterious and fascinating. Harvest season begins in autumn, coming 2 months later than in most places in China. It's also the rainy season. Neighbours all help each other with the harvest so that they can finish cutting and sun-drying as fast as possible. Bundles of the barley stand in the fields against the backdrop of the snowy Himalayas. These people are probably closer to heaven than anyone else in the world. They wonder how people in the big cities can stay in touch with Mother Nature. Zhang Guichun is a native of Beijing. Rather than going for a stroll with a birdcage or doing Tai Chi like many others in the city, this spring morning he is up on his roof. 5 months from now, the seeds he has planted here will bring about a small miracle high in the air. Beijing is the biggest city in northern China and home to over 20 million people. Over the past 800 years, it has served as the capital city for several dynasties. Today, it's a major world city. In addition to the many skyscrapers, Beijing has the Forbidden City and other reminders of the past. Zhang Guichuan lives in a small lane known as a hutong. He's always wanted a garden, but land is in short supply in Beijing, so he's set up a garden on his roof. The seeds are still asleep in the soil, and the fish pool still has ice in it from last year. But with the arrival of summer, the scene on the roof quickly changes.
一共是拉了3卡车土，一桶一桶的抱上来的这土，因为是楼底儿嘛，很多人都劝我，说这楼底儿种菜你就这么点土，不接着地气能种出来？不可能，我就不信，我就反复试验，因为我本身就是学中药种植的嘛，找那几味比较温和的中药，调配到这个农家肥里边，没想到出奇的好，我自己都特别惊讶，什么都长这么大。 一年最大的瓜是39斤半。
Most people buy their produce in a supermarket, but Zhang Guichuan is like a satisfied farmer getting his produce from his own field. His tomatoes remind people of how good tomatoes used to taste many years ago. Zhang Guichuan is also a creative cook, and using squash flowers is one of his specialties.
外边没卖的，这是一道自创菜。温油里边给它慢慢的炸，慢慢的炸，慢慢给它翻动着，让它给它炸匀。你就看见窝花自己慢慢变成焦黄色，特别好看。插上椒盐儿。 然后一吃可香了，外焦里嫩。
He only uses ordinary but fresh and healthy ingredients. Most roofs in the city are bare, but Zhang Guichuan's is bustling with life.
晚上你在这待着啊，多闷得慌，睡哪儿都行啊，早上吃饭就回来，听见了没有？
Today, this roof is an ideal habitat. From the first day he worked on his little garden, however, Zhang Guichuan faced many challenges. For example, on hot days, moisture in the soil, just 15 centimeters thick, quickly evaporated.
咨询了好多人，没有一个人同意说在中午能浇水的。
But Zhang decided to try anyway. He couldn't just stand by while his plants withered.
我慢慢教它，培养它，温度极高的情况下，让它适应这个水分，它每棵都不死，适应它半个月吧，然后就大面积的浇它，它就完全适应。
While most of the city is suffering from the heat, Jiangsu is cool and pleasant. Every leaf in his small but luxuriant garden helps purify the air. It's like a gift from Zhang Guichuan to the city. It's nearing the end of summer, and Zhang has invited his neighbors to come and enjoy dumplings.
吃吧吃吧啊啊，多吃点啊！晚上回来饿了是吧？吃吧啊，真好。沉着了。
The filling for the dumplings is made with squash from his own garden.
每天长点，每天长点，就长这么大，给他看大了，特有一种成就感。
小孩儿似的，20斤左右吧。这要是在市场上买呢，没有。这瓜真厚。
The weather begins to cool in late summer, and this is when Chinese people enjoy dumplings, particularly in northern China. This custom in Beijing is called putting on autumn weight. People believe that dumplings stuffed with vegetables and meat give them energy.
我给大家哼两段行不行？火红的太阳刚出山，朝下铺满了半边天。从公路上走来了人两个，一个老汉，一个青年呐。
头一次吃这瓜馅，
是吧？
真的
好吃吧？
真是挺好吃的啊。
Beijing restaurants are all busy in the evening, serving a wide variety of domestic and foreign cuisines. Meanwhile, Zhang Guichuan and his neighbors are enjoying the organic food they grew themselves.
正好是冲着我，听着，出去玩时不许跑得特别远啊！碰见那些大鸟躲他们远点啊！下雨时回来啊，是吧？去吧，玩去吧，玩去，玩去，是吧？
People in different parts of China have their own wisdom for obtaining food from nature. They do it out of their respect for heaven and their love of the earth. One Chinese author has said that Chinese people, whether they are working in the fields or just having a meal, never forget to occasionally look up at heaven.